When we looked at the data, we first compared the Danish results with the two others, and we found that they did not differ from each other. And it was kind of flat, the association between fluoride in the mother's urine and the child's IQ at age 7. But, you know, the IQ varies a lot, mainly at that age from genetic reasons. And so it's hard to see if there is some association going on because there's a lot of variability. And at the same time, we just had a single urine sample from the mothers, so the exposure wasn't very exact. But when we merged with the two other studies, the picture became clearer in that the distributions of fluoride exposures overlapped. And so we were able to see that there was a dose-dependent decrease in the children's IQ. And what we then did was to carry out calculations exactly the way that the European Food Safety Authority would do it, or the American, the US Environmental Protection Agency. It's something called benchmark dose calculations. And the first choice you have to make when you make that calculation is to decide how much of impact on the child's brain development would you consider adverse. And EPA and others have traditionally decided that 1 IQ point is bad. And so if it's less than 1, then you could say, hey, that's no more than the uncertainty when you measure the IQ, so we can't really call that adverse. But certainly economists would also say that on average, having an extra IQ point will mean that you are more likely to complete a long education and also getting a better paid job. And so we went with this algorithm, this tradition that to carry out the calculations that way. And it showed that a fluoride concentration in the urine of about 0.3 milligrams per liter would be the benchmark dose level or concentration level. And this is what's normally used by the authorities to develop an exposure limit. In America, for example, they would then add an uncertainty factor of 10, so that you get from 0.3 to 0.03 milligrams per liter, which is, of course, very, very low, and it may not be necessary. But the important point is that if there is 0.3 milligrams per liter in the drinking water, then on average, people will have at least 0.3 milligrams per liter in the urine. And this obviously depends on whether it's hot and we drink a lot of water because we sweat so much. Then the urine concentration will be higher. It will also depend on the additional fluoride we get. And I would think in New Zealand, you probably drink a lot of tea.